You might say that, somebody might say, well, the fun's over, now let's get down to business. Well, let's hope the fun is just starting. And the only way for fun to start is for us to keep our minds on our business and play like the Tennessee Volunteers, Southeastern Conference champions know how to play. And that's good enough to beat anybody and everybody on any given day. You know that, and I know that. First 5 minutes of the game. These are things that got us where we are. First 5 minutes. Poise at all times, whether we are ahead, tied, or behind. Discipline. Intimidation factor. I want to reiterate that again. They don't have any respect for you. Make them remember you as long as they live. The way you hit, and the way you knock them downfield, and the way we hustle. Attack, attack, attack. Always attack. And by all means, have fun. What's it all about? You don't have a good time out there. Let's repeat our game maxims. Number 1. The team making the fewest mistakes will win. That's what got us where we are. Being the best disciplined football team in the United States. We've had fewer turnovers compared to our opponents more than anybody else in the nation. Number 2. Play forward, make the breaks. When one comes our way, score. The turnover ratio. Opportunistic football. Capitalizing on our breaks. Number 3. If at first the game a break score against us, don't let up, put on more steam. I watched Michigan against Nebraska. They got down 14-3 at halftime. They came back and whipped them good. Scored 26 points in the third quarter. Keep your poise. Number 4. Ice ski, ball, cover, cut and slice on offense, pursue and gang tackle on defense. This is a winning edge. It's been the winning edge 11 weeks to get you to the championship. On your journey, a team of destiny. 5. Protect our kickers and passers. Keep our heads in the game at all times and play smart football all night long. People in the game, listen to the calls. People on the sideline, being alert for substitutions, kicking situations. Managers, trainers, coaches, everybody. 6. Press the kicking game, for here's where the breaks are made. We must and we will win the kicking game because we are better at it. If we play like we practice. 7. Carry the fight to Miami and keep it there for 60 minutes.
You were mouthing along with some of those. You were laughing at those, and you were in there. As a matter of fact, we saw you sitting there, Sims.
Absolutely.
You didn't
those are
play
my
in
guys.
that. You pulled a hamstring, didn't play in that game, but you were a big contributor all year long. Tell me about that special team. That, of course, pregame for the Sugar Bowl, the 35-7 win over Miami, which for any one of us, anyone over 40. That's the game. That's the Tennessee game everybody talks about.
Special group of guys, special team, special time and special moment and special year. There was no greater, group of players at that time who believed in themselves, and Coach Majors was the one that put that belief in us. And so once we took the field down in New Orleans against Miami, we knew we were going to play a good game. For one reason, we were prepared. So if people forget, Coach Donahue had came over from University of Alabama, where he had a lot of great defensive teams, and so he brought this style of blitzing. Don't play prevent defense.
Right.
And so after we tied our opening game against UCLA. We were up 24-8 going into the fourth quarter.
Oh, I remember 26-10.
26-10.
I remember, I was there. Yeah.
And they Coach Majors said, "Hey, let's back a little, play a little prevent," and UCLA came back and tied us. And so after that, Coach Donahue said he would never play prevent defense again. And so, we decided to go all out, and it was a style that we played, and we benefited from it, and became just a band of brothers.
Remarkable coaching job in the fact that the star of that team, I mean, there were a lot of stars on that team, but the star, the guy that everybody had the cameras on was Tony Robinson.
Yes.
And to lose him middle of the year,
yes,
it's looking like it's going to be a special year. You beat Alabama, but you lose Tony Robinson.
Yes.
But to keep the team firing, struggle in it. They kept the reins on Darrell Dickey against Georgia Tech that next week very tight.
Yes, they did. Yes.
Loosened them up. That team just built and built and built. Coach Majors must have done a really good job behind the scenes of getting you guys
Absolutely.
focused after losing Tony.
Absolutely. A great coaching job by Coach Majors and his staff. And then also we had some good players. You know,
Yeah.
we
Oh,
were
yeah.
all
Yeah.
highly recruited as well. And so, you know, Tony went down. We went into that Sugar Bowl team with a backup quarterback, a backup running back, 2 backup cornerbacks, and so we weren't at full speed. But Coach was able to certainly recognize that there were other players who could play, who were talented, and Coach Donahue again said, "Hey, listen, you know, we're going to play at our own pace. You know, so we're gonna line up and we're going to blitz, and you know, certainly, you know." 35-7, it wasn't close.
Yeah.
And so we see the old Miami guys all the time, the Michael Irvins of the world, and they want to forget about that particular game. But John, I want to add this real quick, is that, you know, the way I got introduced to the University of Tennessee was by my next door neighbor. So I grew up next door to what was considered the #1 prospect in the country back in 1978 with Leotis Burton. Leotis Burton, you know, was supposed to set all the records, and Reggie White was going to break them all, okay? That's how revered he was. And he was the #1 player in the country. During National Signing Day, I actually saw Coach Majors and Coach Vince Dooley get in a pushing fight because the University of Georgia did not want Leotis to leave the state. So the policemen in our town blocked off our street, wouldn't let Coach Majors come down. He walked down the street, went into the house, and that was one of the biggest victories he ever
And
had
still got him,
by
yeah.
signing Leotis Burton out of the state of Georgia. So I wanted to add that Leotis was the first, you know, brick, and that was Johnny Major's first recruiting class, was considered the #1 class in the country then, and that, you know, catapulted us to building a great program under him.
So not only did Majors instill the fight in the team, he had it himself, and it goes to show he was willing to attack, even an
Always.
opposing coach.
Always.
Tommy, thank you very much for being here.
Thank
to
you for
salute
having
Johnny
me.
Majors today. Appreciate you being here. You're welcome to kick out while we talk about the greatest wins for Johnny Majors as coach at UT, and then a little later I'm going to tell you the impact he had on the show. There would be no Sports Source without Johnny Majors if he hadn't done something for me. I'll explain that. Come on back on the Sports Source.